Martha, if you were to think of one decision that you make every single day that impacts your mindset, your health, your wellness, and fuels you the right way, what decision would that be?
How am I moving my body today? And it's not always a formal workout. Sometimes it's just a walk with the dog, but I've chosen to move my body every day in some fashion.
I love that because motion creates emotion. I love it. Hey everybody, and welcome to I Got This with Lex and MGP. I am Lex and I've been a personal trainer over the last 5 years. Martha has been my client for 3 years, and over that time she has lost over 50 pounds and changed her entire perspective on life. Join us each week as we dive into health, mindset, and everything in between. Hey everybody, and welcome back to I Got This pod with Lex and MGP. Today we are choosing to sweat the small things. Many people say don't sweat the small things, but today we're choosing to sweat the small things. And Martha, talk to me about that.
So you and I just assessed recently, right? And we're just talking about some small tweaks that we want to make and, what changes we can make to kind of get closer to some of the goals that I have. And, everyone always says, oh, don't sweat the small stuff. It's all small stuff. Well, honestly, when we step back and look at it, it might be the small stuff that might be preventing me from getting to some of the goals that I want.
Yes.
So I've decided that maybe these little things add up. And, you can't just magically accomplish your goals. You've got to look at all the little details. And it's all these little details that are going to accumulate all these many, many actions, I guess, that are going to add up. And I think that's what's maybe the difference maker here.
I 100% agree. Let's backtrack real quick. I want to backtrack to way before your fitness journey.
Okay.
All the small things are what got most people, and possibly you too, to an unhealthy place.
For sure.
Right?
Yeah, it wasn't like one night I just went out and gorged on food and didn't sleep and all that. It was an accumulation over many years.
Exactly. And I'm not saying these are just like small examples. I'm not saying you did these things, but it was binging before bed every single night. Cookies, right? It was a drink before bed every single night or after 5 o'clock, right? It was choosing not to work out 10 minutes a day for 100 days or 365 days. It was choosing not to go for a walk. It was choosing not to eat a banana or choosing to eat a sugary oatmeal, brand instead. It was choosing the small stuff that was actually a big thing in the end.
And there were so many times where someone would say, it's just one piece of cake or but if you do it over many, many times.
Exactly.
Okay, now we're, overweight.
Yes. Or unhappy.
Or unhealthy or whatever it is.
Exactly.
And, we talked a couple weeks ago about generating change and making decisions and basing them on, who you are or who you were even, who you are, who you want to be.
Yes.
And maybe these little decisions that you have to make, countless decisions every day, if you focus on those little decisions, that's how you're going to generate this change.
Absolutely.
These many, many actions, getting up early and being productive, getting your workout in, choosing to have that healthy food.
Choosing to drink water before you have your coffee. That is such a small decision.
Yeah.
Choosing to go outside for a walk around the block versus watching another episode of Friends, which is what I did this morning.
But, resisting the things that don't help you and embracing the things that actually do. The things that you like to say, feed your soul.
Exactly. And feed your health and wellness, right? So going back, we reversed. So if the small things do matter, and I highly recommend if you guys have not read this book yet, definitely read The Slight Edge by Jeff Olson. It is, I always reference how much my team at work has helped me, but that was the first book I was required to read when becoming a trainer. The little tiny habits that you make and those choices that you make every single day will make the biggest difference in 10 years in who you will be and what you will achieve. So If you guys have not read that book, 10 out of 10 recommend.
He basically says that each individual act seems small, but the cumulative effect is not.
Exactly. So let's talk about your assessment. I think it's so funny. Right before this, you were like, well, it sounds like, what did you say to me? You said, it sounds like these little things are the things that are going to make a big difference. And I said, Martha, that was the point of the assessment. The point of the assessment was saying you're doing the majority of everything right. You're doing, like, you eat so healthy. You drink plenty of water. You work out so hard. Your mentality is strong. You wake up and you do the hard thing 90% of the time to 95% of the time, okay? So then I said, okay, well, I'm not saying, so I actually recommend, like, let's bump down on water. Maybe we went from 120 ounces, and I said, let's try and drink 80. I think your baseline was 100, right?
It's about 100, yeah.
Okay. And then sometimes you drink 120, and very rarely you get 80. And I said, let's tweak a small thing. Let's go to 80. Let's bump down on water. Maybe you are drinking too much water. That was one tweak. And that's such a small tweak.
For sure.
But it might make the biggest difference. Who knows? And, we'll see what happens. And there's some other things, too, that we're going to do as far as, nutrition and everything else and workouts. But, yeah, we'll report back at the end of summer, everyone, and we'll let you know how these small changes went. Yes.
But for me, I think sometimes, too, with these making decisions, and it doesn't have to always be health and fitness. It can be other areas as well. But I find myself, am I going to choose to do something the right way or the easy way?
Yes.
And it could be something as simple as, like, putting away my laundry.
Yes, yeah.
But that makes a big difference.
Can I share with you this morning? I have a room in my house. I call it my dressing room. It's where I
Your extra bedroom, that is a closet.
Yes, that's a closet. It's where I put all my laundry on the ground when I'm done with it, so I can spread it out and find it. And so today I decided I'm going to do the hard thing, and I'm going to fold my laundry. So I'll report back at the end of this episode and let you know if I did it.
I thought you were going to say the end of the summer.
That's very realistic for me, though.
I'm not going to lie. There's 6 baskets sitting in my bedroom right now waiting to be folded.
Glad we're in the same
boat.
Right
with you, sister.
but it is true. It just like you said, am I going to fold my laundry as soon as it's like out and make myself feel like there's a weight lifted off my shoulders, like my house feels cleaner or,
It just, it seems silly, but mentally it feels better to go upstairs and see my clothes either put in the dresser or hung up in the closet and not in baskets in the bedroom.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And same with, like, making the bed. I hate making the bed.
Me too.
Luckily, my husband likes making the bed.
That's so sweet of him. But do it every morning.
And it's just a small habit, but mentally it sets the tone.
You know what's so funny too? I had this conversation with someone recently. One of the hardest habits is getting up early and getting up on time early. And I think when you make a hard decision early in the day, yes, I have to get up for work, so it doesn't really matter. Like, guess what? You're getting up and going. Yeah. But you made a hard decision to get up early. Even in most people sleep until like 7:30, 8:30, right? And then just hop online.
Oh, right. If you're still working from home.
Yeah,
sure.
Or something like that. But I think making the first decision you make being, I'm going to wake up and get directly out of bed and not snooze. I'm going to wake up and hop out of bed. And if that's the first decision you make in the day, you're actually setting yourself up for so much success. I feel like on those days, I'm the most relentless version of myself.
No, I get that. On the days where I don't have to get up. Like, I have to get up because there's a bell ringing and there's students in my room, so I don't have an option. Yeah. And you don't either because you have clients.
But it is still a decision.
But you still have to decide, yeah.
I mean, you could sleep in. I mean, come on. It's true. Like, people, there are...
I could push it.
You could push it. You could push it where you're, like, rushing to school.
And that's stressful.
Exactly. So you are making a hard decision. Don't discredit that hard decision is your hard decision that you made that sets you up for success.
Oh, no, you're right. Because a couple years ago... I used to do that. Like,
exactly.
I'm going to snooze 2 or 3 times.
Exactly. And
then I would reach up, you feel your hair, and you're like, do I need to wash it?
Exactly.
Can I put it up?
Or like, do I need to have breakfast? Do I need to like wash my face? I'm just going to like literally rinse off, not even put makeup on. Like those decisions.
Right.
I know I guess I'm saying it is like many people think they're not really decisions. That's a freaking decision. Like that's a hard decision to make, to get up and take care of yourself.
Yeah, you're right. No, you're right. Because it's not a choice anymore for me to have a healthy breakfast and to take a shower and to, you know, I'm not saying I'm looking like I'm going to a black tie event, but to look professional when I go to work.
Exactly. So guess what? I'm sorry, but 80% of people don't do that. They don't.
No, you're right. Because I see them rushing into work.
Exactly. So that's the thing is like, don't discredit any like every moment of the day you are making a decision.
Yeah. It sets the tone.
It does. I guess that's the other thing is we discredit like, oh, that wasn't really a decision. I made the decision to drive here and come here. I could have canceled on you and been like, I just want to sit here and keep watching Friends. Which I was late, yes, but
hey, we had breakfast waiting.
Yes, you did. It was very sweet. Or I could have, you know, I don't know, there's so many things that you made the decision to do and be who you want to be, and you chose to make the better and stronger decision. So those little things really do add up.
Yeah, you're right. Absolutely.
Thanks.
Because your mental health actually
depends on it. Yeah. I have somebody who called me who said they feel like the worst version of themselves in a really long time. And guess what? I know that person isn't getting up on time. They're rolling out of bed. Guess what? I know that person isn't laying out their clothes before bed. I know that, or before bed. I know that person isn't like eating a healthy breakfast. They're just like, oh shit, what am I going to eat today? Because those are the things that I'm going to help them change. And those are the things that we're going to work on.
And those are the huge habits. I mean, they don't seem huge.
No.
But ever since I started doing that and making my mornings less stressful, I'm in a better place mentally when I arrive at work.
Yes. And it sets the tone for the rest of the day. So,
it does.
So going back to what you were saying, keep going on the little things.
Well, it's kind of what, if you choose the right way, I was saying the right way versus the easy way. And that's kind of how we kind of went off into that tangent. If you do that, it's kind of like watch what happens and you'll see that you're going to start evolving into who you want to be.
Exactly.
Because I want to be sharp when I get to work. I want to be on my A game. And not only just work, I mean, in any facet. So those things are really what's helping me get there. So it is these small things. And you know, if you start thinking about even cumulative things, as far as if we go back to fitness and nutrition, you know, I get a lot of flack at work because it seems like it's somebody's birthday. I swear to God, every day. It's not, but
Isn't it true though? Like we get, ours isn't birthdays. People just bring us sweets. It's so funny.
To a gym.
That
makes no sense.
And I'm the person though who's like, do not bring those. I can't have them around or I'll eat them too.
Right.
Whereas like I think, you know, other trainers do like it and I'm sure they're really grateful. So I'm not. So for those of you that do bring things in, because I know. Shout out Jess. She listens to every episode and she brings us a lot of really good treats. So I'm just saying, shit. I got
You're
myself
grateful.
in a hole.
You're grateful, but yet you're tempted.
Exactly. Just don't let me have any of it, I guess. I don't know.
Walk it by me.
Walk it by me and then walk it to a different trainer.
Yes.
But I feel like I just literally dug myself into a hole and then buried myself.
Or Jess, DM me and I'll get you some healthy
recipes
that I've been bringing.
Exactly. That'd be great. Anyways. She actually just texted me before this about her feedback on our like last episode, and so I thought that was funny. I like bring it up now, but moving on.
We love you, Jess.
We love you, Jess. But no, anyways, yeah, I think there are a lot of people that bring sweets in anywhere you're at work because it is a community. It does bring the community together. It gets people really excited because people like food and everybody likes food.
And for a lot of people, that's their love language for work. You know, I can bring my coworker a cake and it doesn't seem weird.
Yeah,
you know?
Exactly. Yes.
So, but it happens quite a bit. And I get a lot of flack like, oh, you're not eating cake again. Well, honestly, even at my unhealthiest, cake is not really my thing.
Exactly.
So why would I have it now?
There's no point.
I mean, I would eat it in the past because I didn't want to be rude. Well, now it's just like, no, thank you. I don't care for that. You know?
Exactly.
And, you know, occasionally if there is something that comes in that I do really like, then that's when I choose to have something. You know, like it's a really special treat that it is something I like. But, you know, with 120 people where I work, yeah, it is almost someone's birthday constantly.
Yeah,
it seems
exactly.
like. Or if it's not their birthday, it's something else, or someone's retiring, or whatever.
Absolutely.
So you have to make those decisions, because if I ate cake 100 times
a year,
like
that's not
every
gonna
third
be
day,
good. Exactly.
Right? Yeah,
you're not gonna be at a good.
And it
place
doesn't seem like a
physically.
big deal,
but it is.
But it is, and
the little
it's
things are always a
cumulative.
big deal.
Yeah,
they are. They're a bigger deal than you realize.
So
it all is.
You have to stop and think: is this what nourishes me, or not?
This is, when I first started training, I think this is the line that we said all the time, and I loved it, is the decision that you make, it's fueling one or the other. Every decision you make is going to fuel one thing or the other. Is it fueling your health in 10, 15, 20 years? Is it fueling your mind? Is it going to make you better? Is it going to fuel your strength, your physical fitness, your mental fitness? Or is it fueling your sickness? Is it leading to your demise? Is it leading to an unhealthy version of you? And I think every time you choose, which pill are you going to take? What decision are you going to make? And a lot of people, again, think it's a small decision. It's not. I'm sorry, but it's just not.
It's not.
Yeah.
And it's not to say that you're absolute. Am I ever going to not have? Am I going to have cake sometimes? Once in a blue, if it's carrot cake and it's my birthday, yeah.
Yeah.
But then it makes it even more special.
Exactly.
You just get kind of in a routine otherwise. And I think that's what I was doing even in the past. Even if it was something like going out for drinks, it became such a habit, it wasn't really special.
Exactly.
So now when I choose to have a drink, let's say, it's because we have a special bottle of wine that we got when we went to Napa, and I'm having a glass or two. But I'm making a conscious decision.
Yes.
It's not just out of habit or because it's Friday night.
And the other thing is, I think a lot of people think these decisions are no. No, I can't have this. No, I can't have that. No, I don't want that. And I think a lot of people are averted to the word no. But let's not think of it as no. Let's think of it as not, no, I can't have this delicious bread that I've been, no, I can't go to this event because I'll be, drinking all night and partying. Let's not say that. Let's say, I love that idea, but yes, I would rather have this, like for breakfast. It wasn't, no, I don't want this bagel. It's, yes, I really want this warm strawberry, like this. I've actually been warming up my fruit, which we should talk about at some point, but this warm strawberries and yogurt delish. Like, it's not no, it's yes.
Right.
And why don't we get less averted to the small no's? Let's get more excited about the small yeses to new things you wouldn't normally do.
No, I couldn't agree more. A lot of times when I'm saying no thank you to something, it's because I want to either save those calories or use them for something else I really want.
Exactly. So let's say yes to something we're more excited about. Yes to something that's going to fuel our health, our wellness, our happiness, our mental strength.
And that's kind of where I've run into roadblocks with people where they're like, oh, it's just one whatever. Or it's just one Friday night. Or it's just one, but if it's this Friday night, and then it's next Friday night, and then it's the next Friday night.
Yes,
Now we're,
it's so funny.
on a wrong path.
I was talking about that with my mom. She said, do you remember it was like quarantine, but a little bit after, and she was like, you said you started to like wine. And again, this is not anything negative towards people who like wine. I'm not dogging. It's just like not who I am. And she was like, you were saying yes to like wine because the person or the people you were with were drinking it, right? And I was like, and she was like, at that time you're like, yeah, I've gotten really into wine. And she would come over, she was like, why do you have wine? Like you've never been one to like have a glass of wine, drink or enjoy it. In reality, I don't really like it that much. It doesn't, like, it really gives me a bad headache, of course. But she was like, you were saying yes to something that wasn't who you were. And it's like, why don't you say yes to who you are? Because that's never been you. You've never cared about that. And I think it's those little things. It's like, you said yes every Friday night, and guess what? How much that changed who you were. It's just like, that's not you. It's just not who you are.
And sometimes you're making those decisions in the hope of fitting in or what you think you should be doing.
You think you should be doing or you think somebody else wants you to do. Yeah.
And that doesn't end. I mean, we always talk about that with kids, peer pressure, whatever. But that's always there. I mean, you always feel self-conscious, no matter how old you are.
Whoever you are in any situation, I mean, the goal is for you to find a group of people who are in situations that allow you to be who you are and make your decisions without judgment.
Correct.
But there are always going to be situations that you don't feel that way, right?
Absolutely. And we all fall back into that trap at times.
Yeah.
So that's where the mental strength has to come in to be able to make even just these little teeny decisions.
Exactly.
And let them go.
And then you start to make those little decisions of not no, but yes, I'd like something different at a later time, or just not right now.
Or this doesn't work for me today.
Exactly.
I've said that before.
I love that one. I love that line.
That just happened a couple days ago because I was offered drinks. Oh, it was Friday night. And it sounded really good at the time. And I almost succumbed, I guess is the word for it. But I remembered I had to train the next morning with you. And I knew that was going to be brutal.
Yeah.
So I literally kind of threw you under the bus a little bit.
That's fine.
And said, I know, you don't care.
Yeah, I don't
back
care.
it up.
I'll
I said,
back
no.
you. Yeah.
I said, no, thank you. It sounds good. No, thank you. But I'm training tomorrow morning. And if Lex smells it on me, it's not going to go well.
Exactly. I don't care. Use me all you want. I love having a scapegoat too. It's an easier way. And we've talked about that.
Yeah. Well, and I know I won't feel good either.
Exactly.
And I wanted to get the most out of my workout Saturday.
Yeah. And I think like saying yes is going to be a better variation in a different, just like you said, that's not going to work for me today. But this little decision will make a very big difference.
Right.
It's definitely the little things. I think, like, if I think of the little decisions, even mindset-wise, like, I think one of the hard things for me, more recently, is I have always had, like, a FOMO thing. Like, always, fear of missing out, always. And, like, I don't even know why. I think...
And there's probably plenty of people that look at what you're doing and think they're missing out.
Exactly. And I think social media doesn't help that.
No, definitely fuels it.
Not, especially where it's Memorial Weekend here. And that's when we're recording this. And you guys will get it in a few weeks, by the way. So sorry, it's a little dated. But you always look on those weekends where everybody's doing something super fun.
Everyone's on a boat but me today.
Exactly. And I'm never doing something on these weekends. I'm always at home. I'm always, like, working around the house or, like, going to do something with my mom. But, like, it's only a few hours. And then you go home and you're like, okay, now what do I do? Or doing yard work. And I think the mental decision is I'm going to choose to be confident in what I want to do and in my, again, bringing it back to our word of the summer, productivity, right? So I'm going to choose to not let my mind go there. And I think even those little mental nuances of I'm choosing to not let that get to me, or I'm choosing to not feed into those thoughts, or I'm choosing to follow the path that I've know makes me really happy, rather to fall into something that like thinking like, oh, I should be doing this, or why didn't they invite me, or like that type of thing.
Well, and you have to remind yourself too. This is what I have to do. Is yes, we're not doing something this particular holiday weekend, but I was out of town the last 2 weekends.
Exactly.
And I'm out of town next weekend. And you same. You were out of town last weekend.
I was out of town last weekend, and I'm going out of town next weekend. Yeah.
So it just doesn't that we didn't happen to go out of town Memorial Day weekend.
Exactly.
And have to fight the traffic and have to and all that. So maybe that's a good thing.
I know. The summer holidays have always been my least favorite because like everybody's out of town and you do feel that sense of FOMO. But I think the reality of it is, guess what? Like everything seems so much cooler than it actually is.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Once again, no one's posting online that they're sitting on their couch
doing
eating
nothing.
chips.
Yeah, exactly. Or working or working on whatever they want to work on. And I am proud of our little decisions, like, okay, this weekend, even though it's nice out, we're gonna podcast. It's those little things that I am like,
and we chose to get up early on a Sunday to do it.
I know. I'm proud of those things.
Exactly.
I am. And I think they are, again, gonna make the biggest difference. And the other thing is, again, people do want to dig your small. They want to there are people in my life constantly, and yours too, that are always like shit talking your your decisions. And I'll never really fully understand it. Like, why do you care?
Well, I think I've come to terms with, I think when you make these decisions, people are affronted by them a little bit, or they're, especially if this is not how you used to behave.
Yes.
And so perhaps I've changed and they haven't yet.
Yeah.
Or maybe they never will.
Exactly.
And so I think that's one part of it.
Yeah.
And then I think too, they think, oh, you think you're better than me because you're choosing not to have dessert, or you're choosing not to have drinks, or you're choosing to go to the gym instead of sleeping in, or whatever it is. And I don't feel like I'm better than them.
No, you're just
I'm trying to make me better.
Exactly.
And so I think sometimes that's part of it too. And by trying to knock someone down a little bit, then maybe they feel like they're not as
it's their
challenged.
own insecurity that will bring that judgment. And then the other thing is sometimes we think that they're judging us when they're not too. Like sometimes it's such a mind hole we get down. It's like,
for sure,
I'm making this decision. They're judging me. In reality, they don't care literally at all.
Yeah. And they sometimes too may miss the old versions of us.
Yeah, that's true.
Because we would do those behaviors with them.
Exactly. That's a solid point.
And they're not ready to change yet, or don't want to change, and they don't have to. That's totally fine.
Yeah.
But I've changed, and maybe that's...
It's scary to lose a person that you have relied on for so long, too. For sure.
So I think that could be part of it as well. Or they feel challenged by that. You know, maybe if you're, let's say, I'm pointing to you, but, you know, your friends want to go to a bar night, and you're like, well, I got work to do.
Oh, yeah.
They're going to feel challenged by that. Like, why would she choose work over going to a bar night? You know?
Exactly,
And it's not, and honestly, that's not a different scenario for me.
No. And the other thing that happens too, you know, what's so funny is this is something I struggle with still. Opening up on the pod. Eventually,
Speak into the mic.
Let me speak a little louder for everyone in the back. No, I think for so long I actually did say no to certain things like going out because they didn't seem fun to me, and I did have other things I wanted to do, or I wanted to get up early and go to work, or I wanted to work on something. And then eventually you say no for so long, people stop inviting you to certain things. And I think that's a hard thing to resonate.
Or we didn't think you'd be interested.
Yeah, yeah. And I think it's hard because, like, yeah, of course I want to be invited, but how could I blame somebody for not being invited? I mean, when I've declined the invitation so many times, or I've left early so many times. I mean, so it's a tricky topic.
There's a balance.
There is. And of course now I feel like I found a stronger balance. A way stronger balance, and it's like made me very happy, but
it takes time.
To
figure it out.
Yeah, and it never is always like 100%. Like again,
it's evolving.
Yeah, it's evolving. Sometimes you look too on social media and you're like, well, why wasn't I invited? And they just all happen to be at one. You know, like things aren't planned all the time. People aren't like sending out invitation texts all the time,
right?
And you can't take that personally. And I think that kind of thing is like, well, you have to be confident in your own decisions. You have to be confident in where you're at, and in those. That sometimes it's hard.
It is.
Yeah. And
then you figure out, you know, the groups that you are going to be solid with, and the groups that you can do things with. Yeah. And, you know, I think at some point, maybe a future episode, we need to talk about the quality versus the quantity of people in your life.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, I love that topic. Oh, boy,
put that on the list.
Docket.
Yeah. So, but anyway. Just remember, are you making decisions based because they're easy or because they're right? And that even just those small ones are going to have a cumulative effect over time. And, you know, you see, for me, you know, all these quick fix, lose 100 pounds in a year or whatever things on TV or whatever. And yes, those might work, but they don't last. Yeah. And, you know, we've been making all these small choices now for 3 years. And guess what? It's worked. And it, you know, if you told me, it's going to take 3 years to get to where I'm at, I've been like, it's forever. But guess what? 3 years have gone by and it's not.
And the other thing is 3 years is a very small amount of your life.
It is.
I mean, I guess depending on how you live, how long you live, which let's not get into that. But let's say you die at 100 years old. What's
3%?
3% of your entire life. Let's say you die at 90 years old. That's 6% of your entire life. No.
6% would be 50 years.
So how much? 90?
So anyway.
I'm staring off into the distance trying to do math in my head. I'm like 3 times 0.3.
1/30th, yeah.
No, times 0.03. I can't. Anyways, moving on. Just bringing it back to Friends. I feel like Joey. Anyways, moving on.
The one without a calculator.
Yes.
Anyway.
Yes, literally, actually, though. Guys, thank you all so much for joining us. Per usual, we'd love to hear your feedback. Shout back out to Jess for always texting us about her feelings on the episode. About to text you back literally right now. So wait for that shout out. And we're very excited to have you all next week.
Yep, just remember those little things add up. I got this.
Hey, Martha.
I thought you were going to do karaoke for a minute.
Hey, Martha. Hell yeah.
Thanks for joining us. If you enjoyed what you heard, please go to wherever you listen to podcasts and give us a 5-star rating. Also, follow us on Instagram, Twitter, YouTube, and Facebook at I Got This Pod. See you next week. And remember, I got this.